And I always used to wonder about that, Joe, as you watch the home plate umpire Dale Scott work, and most umpires do this now. It was always that way in the National League. They used to sit on your inside shoulder, depending on a right-handed batter or a left-handed batter, and it always bothered me that I thought maybe they'd miss the outside pitches. They were great on inside pitches because of where they set up to a catcher. In this case was Zeal. Look where Scott's setting up.
Hit to second, Duncan in front of it. And there's the first out on the 7th. Well, they say of umpires that you know they've done a good job when they go unnoticed. That is not a possibility for Rich Garcia this week in New York, and so he's accommodating autograph requests. This was during the commercial, you might point out, not during live action.
Hey, Rich, there's a ball. There's a double right by you.
Thank goodness there's no off day tomorrow. Maybe Rich would be on the Rosie O'Donnell show instead of the kid who caught the ball. Here's Alomar.
He probably told B.J. Surhoff, don't throw those balls so far back in the stands. Throw them right in the front here where I can sign them.
Alomar's 1 for 3. And that ball is inside third base for extra bases. Chased by Raines, and Alomar in with a double.
Well, Alomar's last 2 at-bats have resulted in base hits. Maybe he has finally been able to relax here in New York and swing the bat. He had an off night last night, but this is Roberto Alomar at his best. Sinking fastball. The ball is running away from him, and he just slaps it. Watch this pitch. He just slaps it down the third baseline, and that's what makes him dangerous.
Hayes way off the bag, no chance.
Well, Hayes is off the bag and in because he may bunt, so just a good job of hitting here by Alomar. You see him, he just goes out there, slaps it the other way. That's why he was hitting .400 for a long time earlier this season.
So now with the go-ahead run at second and 1 out, it's Palmeiro to be followed by Bonilla. No soft spots at all in the Oriole lineup. Palmeiro fouls it off. The Yankees starters, now that Cone has completed his work today, have worked 32 innings and given up 20 runs. Their combined ERA is a little over 5.5. But look at what the relievers have done. In 24 innings of work, 1 run allowed, a microscopic earned run average. The relievers have all 4 of their postseason victories.
If you're Jeff Nelson here, I think you need to give 100% of your concentration to Rafael Palmeiro. I don't think you need to bother with Roberto Alomar. You have a left-handed hitter up there, and he's probably not going to steal third with a left-handed hitter at the plate. Plus, he also has their leading RBI man at the plate, and the last thing you want to do is be thrown out with him standing there.
And again, trying to stay away from Palmeiro, that time with a breaking ball, trying not to give him anything that he can pull. I mean, not to say that you can't come inside, as we've talked on a number of occasions. You can still move this guy back off the plate.
2-1 to Palmeiro, who's 0 for 2 with a walk today, and who drove home 142 runs during the regular season. Nelson's 2-1 pitch with Alomar leading away from second. Misses, and he falls behind 3-1. Palmeiro had 3 hits, including a homer yesterday, plus a couple of walks. David Wells hoping his team can assume the lead for him here. And Palmeiro lifts this one to deep right. Back goes O'Neill all the way to the fence, and it's out of here. A towering fly ball that just kept on climbing into the early evening sky at Yankee Stadium. And Palmeiro, for the second straight day, has homered on a pair of 2-run homers, one by Zeal, which tied it. And now this one by Palmeiro. The Orioles have taken the lead 4-2.
While there are pitchers who do not match up well against certain hitters, Nelson doesn't match up well against Palmeiro because the only pitch he may be able to get him out with is a breaking ball. He throws him the breaking ball, and that's moving into him. And so Palmeiro gets that one. He knows he had enough of it. And O'Neill goes back, and I think he gets a little help from the wind. It was high enough, and O'Neill goes back, and it just drifts over the wall.
The wind is blowing out toward right, and it was more than high enough to get up into that jet stream.
Well, he hung a breaking ball that time. I mean, it's not that he can't throw a breaking ball to Palmeiro if it's down and in where he wanted it to be, but he hung that pitch, and he hit it all. He got it all.
This is the first time the Yankee bullpen has let them down in this postseason. And the little things that affect the course of a series. The Yankees can't complain about really anything that happened in game one because they got the huge break with the call in right field on Jeter. Bonilla hits one a mile high. Martinez back from first, Duncan over from second, and the ball is in the seats. But nonetheless, Joe Torre was hoping when he brought Wetland out ahead of Rivera in the 9th inning yesterday that Wetland could give him a scoreless 9th and that his team would score in the bottom half and he wouldn't have to use Rivera and thus have him available for 2 or maybe even 3 innings here. Instead, while they won the game, Rivera did have to pitch 2 innings, and that scratched him for this game too. In a tie game in the 7th, if he were fresh, Rivera would be in here now instead of Nelson. It's another reason, by the way, why a best-of-7 series is a much fairer test than a best-of-5.
Oh, yeah.
Because you go deeper into your roster, it's a truer test of all the little nuances that make up a full 25-man team. More of the subtleties of the game can come into play. Rivera's name is still on that list. But according to everything Torre told us, he's the last guy he'd call upon. We'd be looking at the 19th inning before we got to him. 2-2 pitch to Bonilla. And Nelson strikes him out. It's the 3rd time Bonilla has fanned. Sunday, NBC Sports presents NFL action. Noon Eastern with the NFL on NBC. Most of you will see an AFC East showdown. The Bills hosting the Dolphins. Some will see the Steelers and the Bengals. Others get the Jets and the Jaguars or the Oilers and the Falcons. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The NFL on NBC Sunday at noon Eastern. Unless there's a sweep in this series, we'd follow football with Game 5, a late afternoon game from Camden Yards, 4 o'clock Eastern on NBC. Ripken to the plate with 2 out and nobody on, but 2 runs home here in the 7th. Cal is 2 for 3, a pair of singles. Girardi, Jeter, and Raines for the Yanks in the bottom of the 7th. Rolled towards second. Duncan bobbles it and blows an easy play. Ripken aboard on the error.
Now this is an excellent pitch by Nelson, a jam job fastball. He really fisted Ripken on that ball, and an easy play. Easy play for Mariano Duncan. Well, how many times have you seen the easiest of ground balls kicked by an infielder or an outfielder for that matter? This ball is so easy, and Joe, he didn't get down on the ball. I mean, he just stood straight up. It was that easy of a ground ball, and so routine. I mean, normally you see him get his hands out in front of him, get down a little bit, and make an easy play on that ball, but he didn't.
So that gives Murray a cut at it here. He's 0 for 3. Not anymore. Through the hole on the left side.
Well, Eddie Murray is a guy that knows what the pitcher's going to throw him most of the time. He knows what he has to do up here. Watch, he just fights this ball off. He just slaps it to left field. He gets a fastball running away from him. Just slaps it to left field for a base hit.
So a pair who go way back with the Baltimore Orioles. Ripken at second, Murray at first. Ripken has always given Murray credit for kind of shepherding him into the major leagues, taking him under his wing. Of course, Cal grew up around baseball with his dad. From the time he was a little kid, he was around professional baseball, so he carried himself like a veteran from the time he broke in. But Murray helped. A chopper over the mound, Jeter to his left, steps on the bag, and Nelson averts further difficulty. But the 2-run homer by Palmeiro has the Orioles in front 4-2.